Hello traders, welcome to this Sunday market breakdown. So in this video I just want to show you some of the trade ideas I'm looking to take advantage of in the coming week. All right, so I'll make this as brief as possible. I know each time I say this I end up making the video long, but let's see, I want this video to be shorter than 10 minutes, so let's see if I can do that. All right, so I have 5 pairs on my watch list. 5 pairs. I have NZDJPY, EURUSD, CADCHF, EURJPY and USD CHF, and I'm just going to show you my buyers on each of these trades. Now on NZDJPY I can see that price came from this impulsive move to the downside, and then gave us this correction like so, but then it didn't continue downwards. Okay, there is room to this point and room to this point, but price didn't make that move. Instead, what did price do? Price decided to form another impulsive move to the upside, all right, and then give us a correction, an ascending channel. After that ascending channel, if we go to the 4 hours time frame, you realize that price also gave another lower time frame impulse to the downside. All right, so there was this impulsive move to the downside, after which it was followed by an ascending channel upward, and that gave us a double top, a potential double top like so. All right, so my bias is coming from this overall higher time frame impulse to the upside. Price didn't give us a correction to show that it's continuing to the upside, to at least give us this 3 touch up there, because this move looks like there's supposed to be one more move to the upside, but price is not setting up as though it wants to commit to the upside. Instead, what I think this is going to do is that it's going to complete this smaller structure that's forming down here. So I see something like so. Give me a sec to get this drawing. I see something like so. So price is probably going to form something like so, and then this is probably going to be expanded, so it's probably going to give us something like that. All right, so but before that happens, we're still going to take a sell on this trade. So that's my bias. And then if you go to the 1 hour time frame, you'll see that this potential double top, after which it gave us an impulsive move to the downside, and then gave us another correction. This was the trade I tried to take, but I lost this trade. So what am I looking for? All right, I have the first bias here, a double top. Second bias, ascending channel. Sorry, did I say bias? No, the first confluence. Rather, the first confluence is a potential double top up there. Second confluence is an ascending channel, and now the third confluence is this impulsive move to the downside on the lower time frame, and this correction, lower time frame correction. Now what am I waiting for to give me an entry into this trade? Because my bias here now is a sell after this confluences I've seen. So what I'm expecting the price to do is to impulse downward and form a correction like so. So this would be my entry for NZDJPY. So I expect price to break this level down here. So that's going to be a confirmation that it's ready to change direction and start continuing to the downside. Okay, so this is my overall bias, a sell on NZDJPY. Watch out for this sell, guys. So this is likely going to play out in the coming week. All right, so this is my bias, and I'm going to take this trade up to this point because I expect price to react when it gets here. So this is going to be an 8% trade if it plays out. So that's all for NZDJPY. Price can also decide to expand. You never can tell. Price can do whatever it wants to do. So let me show you another view I have here, is that price might do this and go upward. Price can do whatever it wants to do, but tell you what, if price does anything outside what I've just said, I'm expecting price to do, I'm not taking any trade. I'm leaving this pair alone. Okay, now the next pair I'm looking at is EURUSD. All right, so let's start from the daily time frame. On the daily time frame, I can see that there was this descending channel on the daily time frame. All right, so this descending channel is a reversal pattern that shows me that price is willing to commit to the upside. So that is a structure I saw on the daily time frame. If you come to the 4-hour time frame, you would realize that price has actually committed to the upside by giving us some, some moves. Now there was this impulsive move to the upside. All right, after the impulsive move, we had this correction, and then after that correction, guess what? We had this other impulsive move to the upside. In fact, the impulsive move went all the way to this upside. This is just a smaller time frame correction. All right, so if I go to the 1-hour time frame, you're gonna appreciate this better. You're gonna appreciate this better. So let's do this. Let's bring this in a bit. All right, so look at this. You can see the impulsive move I was trying to call your attention to. Look at this. This impulsive move shows us that this is a correction to correct this impulsive move. All right, and after the correction, guess what? Another impulsive move has started. So there was this little impulse to the upside, and now you're seeing this correction. Okay, so this for me is looking very, very good. Now at the beginning of this move, we can see that price gave us a potential double bottom right there. All right, so price is coming from a potential double bottom, gave us this double bottom before this impulsive move to the upside started. So I expect price to come up and complete this structure to the 90% rule, to this 90% point. All right, most often than not, when price breaks out of a descending channel, it goes all the way to the top or the beginning of that descending channel. So I'm expecting price to go all the way to the top there. I'm just going to take this away to keep my chart as clean as possible, and I'm going to take that away as well. Okay, so let's go to the 1-hour time frame, so I show you what I'm expecting price to do for me to get an entry. So I can see that after this impulsive move to the upside, guess what? Price gave us impulsive move and correction, and guess what? After every correction, there must be another impulsive move. So I expect an impulsive move up to this point that can give us another correction before the final impulsive move to the upside, completing this structure, and that can give us probably a wider ascending channel that can point to the downside. Forget the drawing, guys, don't mind that drawing. So what's the entry I'm looking to get tomorrow? Did I say tomorrow? What's the entry I'm looking to get in the coming week? I'm waiting for price to do this. Now my bias is a buy, so if price does anything other than a buy, I'm out of this market. I'm not like, I don't have a buy or sell bias. It's either a buy or a sell. That's just how I trade. It's either it gives me a buy entry or I'm not taking it. It's probably my analysis is wrong. So what am I expecting price to do? To break out of this structure, probably break out of this point there and form a correction. All right, and form a correction like so. My drawing is still not good, guys, forgive it. All right, I'm not an artist, I'm just a trader. All right, so that is what I'm looking for price to do. Give me an entry like so. Now this entry might be wider. I might have to enter with the 50 pips or 40 pips, whatever the case, but I just know I'm waiting for an entry up there, and this is a potential, say, 333 pips, depending on the lot size I enter with. Depending on the stop loss I enter with, that could be a potential 10% trade. All right, so that's my bias for Euro USD. I expect price to go all the way to the upside before it drops, because I believe price is probably still going to drop. It will react when we get to that point. So that's my bias for Euro USD, a buy. And then for CADCHF, I still expect price to complete this move to the downside. So if I show you this on the daily chart, you'll see that price actually has two important points it might come to. All right, so this point up there and this point down here to complete the 90% movement on this ascending channel or the higher or in the higher time frame. Okay, so what do we see here? Why am I expecting a sell? I can see on the daily time frame that price has already impulsed to the downside. this was an impulsive move to the downside. After the impulsive move, we go to the lower time frame, to the 4-hour time frame. What can we see? We can see that price formed a correction. After that correction, there was a mini impulsive move to the downside, which gave us this correction. Now, to complete this move, I expect price to do one more thing. I expect price to break out of that structure. Let me go to the 1-hour time frame and show you exactly the entry I'm expecting. Okay, so price has shown us that it's probably ready to commit to the downside. I lost a trade here last week, but my bias is still a sell because I still believe price has room to the downside. So I'm expecting price to impulse. I need to see an impulsive move breaking this structure or this lower structure. All right, I need to see price do something like that and form a correction like so. This is going to be my entry signal. If that does not happen, guess what? No trade. All right, so this is exactly what I'm waiting for. That's the beautiful thing about my strategy. Specific entry points, specific things. You see, this was a correction I entered. If it doesn't happen, I'm not entering. So this is a potential 161 pips trade. When it gets to that point, I'll monitor the trade and see if it breaks out and forms a correction. I'll just trail my stop loss all the way. The potential is up to 400 pips, but let's see. So that's the bias for CADCHF. A sell is looking imminent on CADCHF. Let's see how that play out. Now the next pair is EURJPY. All right, EURJPY. What's my bias here? If we go to the 1-hour time frame, or in the daily time frame rather, EURJPY on the daily time frame, what can we see? We can see now that this is an ascending channel. All right, it's an ascending channel on the daily time frame, and ascending channels are always reversal patterns. So if I go to the 4-hour time frame, what can I see? I can see that there was an impulsive move to the downside, after which it was followed by this correction. All right, after the correction, if I go to the 1-hour time frame, I would see that there was another impulsive move to the downside, and then followed by this correction. And guess what? This correction has formed a double top, which is also a confirmation. Okay, we have a double top there, then we have an impulsive upside correctively, second confluence, and now I'm looking for price to do one thing: break out impulsively and give me a correction like so, something like so. What a drawing! Oh my god. Okay, this should be better now. Nice. Okay, so I'm waiting for price to give me something like so for a potential sell all the way to the downside right there. Right, so this is a potential 150 pips profit if it plays out. Okay, so if you notice, I'm expecting price to break out of that structure, that 1-hour structure, and give me a lower low to confirm that it's ready to go to the downside. Okay, so that's my bias for EURJPY. I'm expecting a sell on EURJPY, and my final pair is USDCHF. On USDCHF, I'm also expecting a sell, and quickly I'm going to show you this on the daily chart. On the daily chart, what do we have here? We have an impulsive move to the downside. We had this impulsive move to the downside all the way on the daily chart. So if you see on the 4 hours, you realize that price impulsed and corrected. So after this impulsive move, there was what? A correction. After the correction, there was another impulsive move to the downside. All right, and after this impulsive move to the downside, what are we expecting? I'm expecting price to do one thing. If it doesn't do that thing, I'm not taking a trade here. So what am I expecting price to do? I'm expecting price to come all the way down impulsively, break the structure, and form a correction like so. This correction is going to be my entry signal. If that happens, guess what? I'm going to set my sell stop entry below the correction and allow price to tag me in, probably use a 30 pips, or depending on how wide that correction is, price is going to tag me in, and I'm expecting price to come all the way down to this point for a 7% profit thereabout. All right, why am I looking at that point? Because I can see that this is a very significant point right there. All right, I expect price to come all the way to that point before there is any potential sign of reversal. Now, I am also paying attention to the fact that there is this potential. That's why I think price is going to get all the way there. So there was this impulsive move to the upside. So this could be a correction. Price could form a correction like so to correct this and form something wider. All right, so if this move completes, like we can see price, form a correction like that, and then begin an upward move also all the way to the upside. That's a very possible movement of price, but we are talking about the immediate movement now, how we can capitalize on it. Okay, so my bias immediately for the coming week is a sell, not a buy. Okay, all right, so this is the last pair I'm looking at now, but don't forget I also pair my trades on primary and secondary. Secondary means I don't really have all the confluences, or I don't have what's it called, I have, is it that I don't have all the confluences, or I have two similar correlative pairs I'm looking at, so I picked one out of the two. Like in this case I have NZDJPY and EURJPY. So if you look at NZDJPY, it feels to me that price is probably going to have a larger move on NZDJPY because of this higher time frame double top, and then once this impulse happens, I'm going to be catching over 245 pips there. Whereas on EURJPY, I feel like the potential is reduced, it's smaller, 150 pips, all right, as compared to that. So I decided to settle for NZDJPY as against EURJPY. All right, another pair is CADCHF, USD-CHF. On CADCHF, why did I choose CADCHF? I think it's also because of the potential in the profits. Let's see, but this also depends on how many or which of them plays out first before the other, so this is a potential 153 pips and 400 pips if it finally plays to that point. Whereas on USD-CHF, this move has happened and is closer to the take profit, which is still decent. 200 pips is still a decent amount of pips to catch. All right, so whichever setup gives me an entry is the one I take first, and then if I'm able to move my stop loss to break even or my entry to break even, I can now look at taking another correlative pair like USD-CHF and CAD-CHF are correlated, so they can move in similar direction. Also NZDJPY and EURJPY are also correlative pairs, they move in the same direction. So I don't want to enter two of them at the same time, exposing my account to too much risk, because if they lose, I'll be losing twice. If they win, of course, it's always going to be a good thing, but we always want to consider the losing potentials or abilities before we even talk about the profit potentials or abilities. All right, so that'll be all for this video. If you like this video, do well to subscribe to my YouTube channel, smash the like button, guys, and don't forget, on the description of this video you would find a link that allows you to join my Telegram channel, where I share some of my trades. Before I enter them, I just share my trade setup. It's not signal, I don't give signals. Okay, I'm not that good yet. I don't give signals, I just share my ideas, and whoever wants to take the trades, they are free to take the trades with proper risk management. The goal for the group is to help encourage one another, just have a community of like-minded people who also do what you do, and then we can just push ourselves and achieve success together. Please guys, go ahead and support me. Your support is very, very, very appreciated. Smash the like button, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.